Hello everybody and welcome to Sunday Crafts. It's Anna here from Ipswich Library. This week, this is a bit of a challenge. We're going to learn how to make a shadow puppet theatre. So here you can see my shadow puppet theatre. I'm just going to come round the back and show you that behind it there is a light. So I've used the lamp, but you could just use a torch if you've got one. That would be absolutely fine, just behind there. And then we've made some little puppets like this. And when you put them at the back and you press them against the paper, you can see that they make a shadow. And you can use the puppets to make a story. If you watch my story time on Thursday, you'll see that I've made a story with this donkey puppet and some other animals, so you might like to have a look at that. But I'm going to show you how to make a smaller version of this so that you can make your own characters and perhaps have a puppet show with these. Okay, just bear with me for a second while I just angle the camera down so that you can see our making space. There we go. Okay, so for this craft, you don't need a lot of complicated things, but you do need a few bits and pieces. First of all, you need a cardboard box. I used a really big one, but I'm going to show you how to make one with a cereal box. So you can do it with a cereal box, or a shoe box would be good, or anything like that really. So you need one of those. Then you need some paper. So this is kitchen paper, greaseproof paper, either a piece of paper or the other thing that works really well is some white fabric, like an old pillowcase, so you can cut a little bit of old pillowcase up if you like. Okay, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, I think, so you can see a bit more. There we go. So you need a box and you need some paper or a piece of fabric. Then you need some paper or card. Now I've got some black paper which I've made the puppets with, but if you've just got, even the cereal box card will do, and then you just need to colour it in with a black pen to make it black before you start. So you need some cardboard. Probably if you had two boxes that would be good, one to make the puppet theatre and then another one to cut out all the bits. So these are the decorations that I made for the side. I'll show you those. Okay, so some paper or card, some fabric and a box, and then some little sticks. So if you've got some garden sticks or some bamboo skewers that you might have for your barbecue, they'd be really good. If you haven't, you can just use a pencil and you can stick that onto the back of your puppets. Okay. Then you'll need some glue and some tape and a black pen and some scissors and probably a ruler. So there's a few bits and pieces there that you need to get, so I'll let you have a look at those and then we'll get going. Okay, let me move some of these things out of the way. So the first thing to do is to cut the holes in your cardboard box. You will need a hole in the front of your cardboard box and in the back. So I've already cut a hole in the back of the cardboard box here, and I've made it so that I've cut round three sides and haven't quite cut to the edge, just because this makes the box a bit stronger. And then if you leave the bottom edge and you don't cut through it, it helps it to stand the box up so that your puppet theatre doesn't fall down when you're trying to do your show. We also need to cut a screen out of the front of the box here. So you can see that I've already started. Remember what I said about using a piece of blue tack to start off cutting a square out of something? If you use a pencil and you pop a hole in it like this first, pop, okay, then it will make it much easier for you to get your scissors in and cut round. So what I've done here is I've actually drawn with a ruler, I've drawn some lines round the edge of my box. I'll colour them in so you can see them a bit better. About here, but I used a ruler to draw them to start with. Just to show me where I was going to cut out, so that I didn't cut out the whole box. I leave a rim round the edge, and that's really important because you need that to stick your paper onto. So then you can cut out your edges. There you go. Of course, these bits that you've cut out of the front, you can use these to make some of the puppets or the decorations, so your cardboard won't go to waste then. Okay, have I finished? Oh no, a little bit further to go. There we go. So now I've got my screen in the front of my box, and I've got a bit that stands up at the back. There you go. The next thing to do is to make the screen itself. So as I said, you can either use a piece of kitchen paper, and you just pop it on the top of there, and then you can glue it or tape it all the way round. The problem with this kitchen paper is it's meant to be non-stick. It stops your cakes from sticking. So the tape and the glue do not stick very well to it. So if your parents have got some masking tape like you would use for decorating, this sticks on very well, and it even sticks to the non-sticky paper, you can see, like that. And that's the best way to attach the paper. I found that everything else just falls off. But you could also use, as I've said, a piece of material like this. And this will be much easier to stick on. I've never tried using material before, but we're going to try it on this one, so let's see what happens. I'm going to glue really well all the way around the outside of the box. So what I did to start with was I actually used the box to draw around to cut out the right size piece of material. Then I'm going to stick the material onto the top of the box. It's really important that you get it as tight as you can. So really stretch it when you've put it on, so it's not floppy in the middle. You want it nice and tight, and that's going to help you show your puppets. So give it a good stretch out, so you can see now that that's stretched on over the box. Which way up does it go? That way. Keep getting it upside down. There you go. Okay. In fact, I've made this one a little bit long, but it's nice and stretched, and it's stuck very well with just some ordinary glue. Okay. And then once you've made your screen, you can decorate the outside of it. I don't know if you can remember if I show you again. On my one, I've put these lovely pillars, so it makes it look like a stage and some decoration at the top there. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. Now I've just cut these out of the cereal box, and you can cut them out of what was left out of the lid, or you can find another cereal box, or you could even make, the other thing that would be nice would be some curtains. So if you've got some spare fabric at home, you can cut curtains out. And then I made, out of some paper, some coloured paper, I just made some lovely bunting to go to the top. So I'm just going to stick those on. Stick some glue on them to the top of your theatre. Again, if you do this with the kitchen paper, you might need to stick them on with some masking tape, because the glue doesn't stick very well to the non-stick paper. But I'm afraid the non-stick paper is the best thing for your puppet theatre. You could try it with some ordinary paper, actually. I haven't tried it with ordinary paper. You might be able to see through enough to make the puppet theatre. So the shadow, the light has got to be able to shine through it so that you can see the shadows. There you go, so that's one. And then I'll do one on the other side as well. Some glue on it. There we go. There's the one for the other side. So when you stand it up, it looks almost like you're at the theatre. There we go. So that is the main part of your puppet theatre done, and now we can add some things into it. So what I'm just going to do actually is I'll just move the big screen from behind, and then the light will shine through this one, and you'll be able to see how we're doing with it. So you can already see that the light is shining through the puppet theatre. Let me just scroll that up a little bit. There you go. And if I put my hand behind it, you can see the shadow. It makes the shadows. So what we can do now is add some decoration. So I don't know if you noticed on my puppet theatre that I had a tree. So you can stick some things to the inside of your box if you want them to stay there all the time, like this tree. Again, you would just put some glue on it. Which way do I want it to stick? This way, I think. So I'm going to put some glue on it, and I'm actually going to glue it to the screen at the back. But this won't come off, so only do this if you don't want to take it off. So I'm going to stick it on this edge here. So then you'd have a forest on your theatre all the time. And when you watch my story time on Thursday, you'll see I've got a house on mine as well for my story. So when you see I've just stuck that in. When you look at it through the light, you can see your tree. And now it's time to make the puppets. So, to make the puppets, I've just cut them out of cardboard. So here I've got some that I made before. Here's my donkey that I made. Oops, I think his stick's just fallen off. Not very good timing, donkey. There we go. All right. And I made a flower. There's my little flower. And I made a spider as well. There's my spider. And you very simply, you just cut whatever shape you want to make your character out of a piece of cardboard. This one is just a tea bag box, I think, that I found. And then you want to colour it in black so that it shows up really nicely on your puppet theatre. You literally just use a black felt tip and colour the whole thing in black. If you've got some black card, obviously you can just cut your characters out of black card, and then you don't have to do all the colouring in. But this is really important. You can do it without colouring them, but they don't show up as dark on your puppet theatre. There we go. And I've poked some eyes in my man as well here, again using a pencil and a bit of blue tack. There we go. Sorry, I've nearly finished. The trickiest bit is actually attaching the stick to the back of the puppet. You want the stick to be able to stick out so that you can hold it behind a little way away. So the best way I've found of doing that, I'll show you in a minute, is, there we go. You obviously want to colour that in a little bit better than me. Turn your man over, get your stick. If it's pointy at one end, you might want to get an adult just to take the end off it so it's not so pointy and sharp. Get a piece of tape. Now you can do this with ordinary sellotape, but I'm just using this tape because it's easier for you to see. And stick the end of your stick onto the tape and then fold it over, but don't fold it over so there's no bits flapping. So I just fold it over a little bit, and then you've got some tape that's flappy. I don't know if you can see that there. There's some flappy tape at the top of the stick. So do that first, so it's flappy. Then put the stick on your puppet. Let me turn it that way around so you can see better. Put your stick on your puppet, and then the flappy bit of tape, you're going to tape that down with another bit of tape. So I'm going to get another little piece of tape here. And then don't tape the stick, just tape the bit that's flapping, the bit of tape. Because when you do that, that means that you can move your stick up and down like that. But the bit of tape at the top is still stuck to the puppet. Okay, so that's the trickiest bit to get right, I think. So first of all, put some tape on your stick, and then stick the top of that tape to your puppet so your stick can still move around. Then when you go to the back of the puppet theatre, your person, you can hold your stick at the back and your person can move around, you see. And then you can make your own stories. So that's all there is to it. We'll go around the back again so that you can see. And you can make your own story then. So you can make any characters you like for any story that you like. And then you can tell a story. Once upon a time, there was a man, and he was very lonely and sad. And he walked a long way until one day he met a donkey. The donkey became his best friend, and they travelled everywhere together, and they were very happy. The donkey loved to eat flowers, so the man had a beautiful garden where he grew lots of flowers, and the donkey happily munched away on flowers for the rest of his days. There you go. So I hope you enjoy. Have a go at making it. I know it's quite tricky, but it's great fun. And if you don't even have a torch, you can make one and put it in the windowsill. And the light from the window will make enough light for your shadow puppet to work. So I hope you really enjoy making that and enjoy making your puppets. And I'll see you next week for another Sunday craft. Goodbye.